Tomorrow, May the 18th, literally 24 hours away from now. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are safe on the Sunday. Many drivers will be returning to rideshare tomorrow and risking, I would say, their lives, right? Because just because someone has a mask on, and remember, they literally 1 to 2, maximum 3 feet away from you. They're right behind you in the passenger seat. You've got the mask on. They're supposed to have their mask on. First in the house, Mario Cedillo. How are you, buddy? Happy Sunday to you and your family and everybody else. As you come in, please smash the like button. Huge adjustment tomorrow. Matt Killian's in the house. Florida. Hope you're doing well, Florida. Hope everything is slowly returning to normal. Many drivers are itching to get back into their cars and drive. This is sort of like a green light. Hey, you can wear the mask, you can go back in, as long as it's both ways, passenger and driver. Driver has to verify himself or herself, take a selfie. Rider doesn't have to do that. David's in the house. Oklahoma. Scott Tucker is in the house. Tommy's in the house. Tommy says, you think people will get deactivated? How are they going to prove anything? With a mask? Yeah, absolutely. So the way if you're not wearing the mask, it works both ways. The passenger will report you, and they only need a few reports that you are not willing to wear your mask or you refuse to wear your mask, and you're out. They've made it very, very clear. They will deactivate drivers that have a few complaints issued against them for not wearing the mask. And believe me, just as you will be checking out that the passenger is wearing the mask, so will they. They will be looking at you closely. They will be reporting. I would not jeopardize this. Listen, this is not an easy task to have that mask on, right, for the entire duration of the trip. You really sort of breathing into, my mask is really pretty dirty, but you breathing into this piece of equipment, right, during the entire trip. You breathing in what you have. You basically breathing in your own carbon dioxide. You're breathing out, it's captured there. What the lung is pushing out, which is usually bad carbon dioxide, and you sucking it back in. I'm telling you, every now and again, when they sort of talking in the back and doing, just go like this. Get some good fresh air into your lungs, right? It's important because you're going to get dizzy, especially if you're driving for 30 to 60 minutes, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. You're going to start seeing stars. I ask you, please, every now and again, just to get some good oxygen in and then put it back on again. They can't fault you for that, can they? Right? So that's an important one. The other, Chris Botha is in the house, South Africa. My brother from South Africa. How are you? Hoe gaan het met jou, Chris Botha? I was just watching the 1995 World Cup rugby final against New Zealand, and then I was watching the 2019 Rugby Cup final against England. We're both in 1995 and in 2019, South Africa won great games. So thinking of South Africa. Sean Anand's in the house. Correct, because they can't. This is just fear-mongering like the media is doing. Look, the bottom line is, Sean, if you don't want to wear your mask, your Uber career, your Lyft career will be over like that. I'll guarantee you. If you think that you're above the mask law and it's all on the media, that's your opinion. But the bottom line is you're going to be judged by the passenger and rider. And I ask you there, for the sakes of your job, for the money for your family, for your money, for your rent money, for your car money, do not jeopardize it. The passengers will report you like this, right? Even if you come with that attitude, well, the mask doesn't apply to me. And I know that there are a lot of mixed feelings about the mask. I will not wear it. I will wear it. I will abide by the law. I'm not going to be dictated by the government or by the media. There's so many conflicting stories out there, right? But here's the thing. On May the 18th, you will be judged whether you have the mask on or not. So if you're Sean, right, who says, well, I'm not gonna wear a mask, they're not gonna make me wear a mask. Okay, you try that for 3 or 4 trips. I will guarantee you, I'll take any bet that a couple of complaints against you because you refuse to wear the mask, you're out and you've basically jeopardized your income stream. Look, the same applies for Uber Eats deliveries, right? Now, Lyft doesn't have a food delivery arm, but Uber does, and it also applies there. The restaurants will be judging you. You will be judging the restaurants. You will be judging the riders. The riders will be judged. Everyone is judging everyone. Do you have a mask or you don't have a mask? I'm just saying, wherever your mind is, wherever your mindset is on masks, whether you like them or you don't like them, whether you're okay wearing them and complying or whether you say absolutely not, your rideshare or food delivery career will be over very, very fast with 2 or 3 reports from the passenger, the rider, or the food delivery guy, or from the restaurant. You march into the restaurant as an Uber Eats delivery person and you're not wearing this, you walk into the restaurant like this, restaurant manager just has the ability to, hey, he walked into my restaurant without the mask. You walk in to the restaurant like this, right? No issues. Pick up the food, leave. You drive the car, you pick up riders tomorrow like this, should be no issues. If they want to make issues, it's because they want to do a wrongful report, or they want to get you wrongfully terminated, or they're trying to get out of the fare. If you show up like this, you should be safe, right? You show up like this, you're not safe. Now, what do we do when we arrive at the destination? We've dropped the person off, right? This is it. We've just dropped them off. Hey, have a good day. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for complying with the mask laws. I really appreciate you guys. You rock. You want to get those 5 stars? You want to get the tips? Just tell them, hey, I appreciate you guys complying with the mask laws. I know it's not easy. I know we get dizzy, but you guys rock. Thank you for keeping the car safe. I will tell you, the tips will follow. The ratings will follow. Acknowledge the riders, right? Acknowledge the restaurant owner. Acknowledge the staff about the mask. Say, hey, thank you for working together, right? You will get more tips. You will get higher ratings. But if you're going in like this, like, fuck, I really don't care. Screw this all. Find out what happens to your tips. Find out what happens to your ratings. And don't be surprised if you're wrongfully terminated. I'm just telling you that. Now, at the end of the trip, you've dropped the people off, right? You've dropped the people off. You are dying to take this off. You just want oxygen. You've dropped them off. Here's my suggestion. This is how I, streetwise, how I would handle this. I would drive a little bit away from them, right? So that they can't really see you. I'd open up all the windows, accelerate a little bit, get a little bit of, hopefully the windows are all open anyway, but put them all the way down, accelerate a little bit, keeping your mask on, get some fresh air flowing, then get out the car, still with your mask on, get your disinfectant, spray it down, get your wipes, spray it down, right? And then spend a little bit outside of the car, let the car air out. At that moment, you step a few feet away from your car, you get your oxygen back, you wait a few minutes, you've got your phone. If it goes off again, if you want to take the next trip, cool. Take the next trip. You can still put your mask back on. If you think your car is unsafe, we've got all the windows open, and you drive off to the next party, right? So Tommy says, nobody is wearing masks anymore. Out of the past 30 people, I've picked up not one with a mask. Okay. Well, if you're okay with your rider not wearing a mask and you're not reporting them, that is your prerogative. Somebody that would, if I'm not driving, I'm not going to subject myself to these crazy times and risk anything. I just can't. Not for my family, not for myself. I have other income streams, right? I'm not going to risk going out there on May the 18th. But if you have to go out tomorrow, I completely understand, right? I completely understand you need to make money. You need to get out there. All I'm saying is, if Tommy is going to go out there and he says nobody's wearing the mask, screw that. Well, screw that what? Screw that I'm not going to drive? Or screw that I'm going to accept that they're not wearing masks? I wouldn't do that. I would just say, hey guys, strict guidelines from Uber and Lyft, wear your masks, you know, and I wouldn't start the trip unless they have their masks on. Now, you might have 3 people in the back, one right behind you, not a great position, they're just 1 foot behind you, right? That person should definitely be a mask because he's breathing, literally breathing into your back. Then you got 1 person in the middle, and you got 1 person to the far outside to the right. You want to make sure, okay, you check all 3 have their masks on. As you're driving, look in the mirror. Are they taking their masks off? I personally would not drive around. This is my personal opinion, right? How you do it is your prerogative. But I will tell you one thing. You take that mask off during the trip, they will be on your ass, right? Because they feel empowered. It's a new rule. And riders feel very empowered. If they have the power, they will use it. They will make that comment through the app. They will try and get out of that fare. My driver took his or her mask off the trip. I am not paying for this unsafety ride. They will make a big bullshit scene out of it to try and make your life terrible. We know how this game is played in real life. There's theory and there's practice. In practice, it plays out very, very, very different to what Uber has put in place in theory. In theory, they see a lot of people complying on May the 18th. In practice, a lot of people will not be complying on May the 18th. How do you feel about it, right? So we have James Campbell in the house, Michael Levitt. By the way, who got their stimulus checks yesterday? I got a, what did I get? I got a $1,200 stimulus check yesterday in the mail. For the Scott Tucker, I'm with you. I'm not driving. Screw that. But I totally understand if a lot of people will get in the car tomorrow. Oswaldo, I'm not driving, period. I'm with Oswaldo. I'm with Scott Tucker. Who's going to be driving tomorrow? Who's not going to be driving? Mark Fowdy says, Tommy, your life isn't worth it. That's my opinion. Dennis, Long Beach in the house. I don't think Dennis is going to be driving tomorrow either. Tommy says, I'll give it a week. They will stop this because of how many drivers will quit. That may be true, Tommy, but you're fighting a machine here. I can sense in your language, in Tommy's language, he's fighting the machine. You're fighting the Uber machine. Uber doesn't care a rat's ass if after 1 week so and so many drivers fall out, Tommy. Why? Because they will replace them with new ones that will wear the mask. And they will quickly identify the people that are not wearing the mask, and they will flush them out. And they don't care whether it was wrongfully reported or rightfully reported. They don't care, right? So you are fighting a machine. So with that attitude, I'm just going to tell you, welcome to the real world. You're not going to get anywhere. Dennis Torres, I was in, when was I in Long Beach? 2 days ago, my brother. I'm not driving until maybe October. I'm being so honest with you. I'm with you. I'm with you, Dennis. I'm going to do private trips. I have a couple of private trips lined up, but I know what I'm getting into. I know where the people have been. I know their habits. I know that they've been indoors. These guys would not, these are people I have relationships with. They wouldn't jeopardize my life, their lives. Everyone in private trips that I'm doing has to wear the mask. I wear the mask, they wear the mask. It's the same Uber and Lyft laws that come into effect tomorrow. Again, many will like it, many will dislike it. But if you're on the dislike side and you say, masks, screw this, I'm just telling you right now, you watch how quickly you will be deactivated. Garcia Bui is in the house. Roy Roth, I've had a thick plastic sheet separating the front seat and rear seat for weeks since I resumed driving. Super smart. You're one of the guys who actually took the time to set that all up. I think that's brilliant. I think that's, you're in that 2 to 3 percentile group because you needed the money, Roy. You went out there, but you also took the precautions. You obviously wrapped it up nicely, right? David Garcia, I'm at home collecting and enjoying the swimming pool, planning future to start driving private rides. And I am going to support you with that, right? David, we're going to meet up and we're going to do some videos together. You're going to be talking in English and Spanish to private clientele, right? You want to recruit private clientele. I like your thinking. Chicago's in the house. We welcome Nifty 50. Michael Levitt, Moldova. Beautiful country, Moldova. I've been there. Stunning, stunning country. East Europe, right? Mark Fowdy, not driving for months. Smart. Roy Roth says, also set up a vent for passengers in rear. Cool, so that they don't suffocate, right? You don't have bodies dropping in the back because you've cut off all the oxygen. See, they've got like a little lifeline there, like a diving tube, right? Abstract Echo, Jimmy says, I'll be making a shitload of artwork. Ruski. Dobry dien. How are you, Michael? Good. You speak Russian there. Dobry dien, my friend. Las Vegas Uber driver. I'm looking for my new clientele since moving to California. Good. Are you doing private trips, or where in California did you move to? Privet. I like it. Thank you, Michael. Leonard Ligocki says, hello, brother. How are you back, my brother? Hope you're doing well, Leonard. Hope you're safe. Hope your family's doing good. And let's hope that it all returns to normal. Tomorrow is not going to be completely normal. I can tell you, it's going to take a lot of adjusting, right? I think tomorrow is going to take a lot of adjusting. Like, especially if you are an individual that hasn't worn a mask while driving. I tell you what, breathing in and breathing out oxygen. Sorry, you're breathing in and then you're breathing out the bad air from the lungs, and you're breathing that back in again. You start getting dizzy after a while, right? So it's super important that you just suck in some oxygen every now and again. Get some pure oxygen in the lungs. If at any point you feel tired or you feel your eyes starting to swim or the road, that's a clear sign. You need oxygen in your brain, oxygen to your lungs, oxygen to your cells. Scott Tucker says, I'm going to make my PUA unemployment while not working. I'm going to gather what I need to start my own business. And just yesterday, SBA ran my credit for final EDIL. Fantastic. It's Smooth says, hyperventilating is not good. Indeed. Dennis Torres, unemployment and PUA gives me about 80% of my income. As a driver, I got approved until December. That's it. And you hang low, right? I'd rather take 80% and be safe versus saying, oh, you know what? I want 100% and I go and put myself out there and I'll be unsafe. But I want to be around in 2021. And how about you guys? Do you want to be around in 2021? I certainly do. Hey, we have 68 people in the house. May I just ask you to please smash the thumbs up button on a Sunday, right? Let's jack the numbers up a little bit. Helps me a lot. Helps get these videos up. Now, another big point I want to talk about is here we are. We've been instructed by Uber and Lyft to wear masks. But I ask you, have they supplied you all with masks? Have they supplied you with the disinfectant and the PPE and the mask that they promised? I have received nothing. Nothing at all, right? So they're setting all these big major rules with tons and tons of promises, right? This is like Travis Kalanick. Dara Khosrowshahi is like Travis Kalanick 2.0, same breed, right? Rather cut the costs, promises, not deliver on the promises. Same type of person as Travis Kalanick. But now it's up to you to go out and get your own PPE. AMC creator says, this has so many... Let me read that. This has so many safety issues. This is not going to be a good idea and will cause lawsuits in different ways, like you said, if the passenger or driver passes out due to the mask. Yeah, there will be There will be lawsuits about this, but they sort of want to cover themselves. They sent the new terms of service conditions. They wanted you to agree to that. They want you to sign your life away. They just want to get you to the front line at no matter what cost. Lorenzo Davis question, how do you keep your glasses from fogging up when wearing a mask? It's a tough one. Apparently, you got to connect them, right? Apparently, they have to be one and the same. I don't know. I've read all these different, but that's one thing I hate is having the mask on and then you have your goggles on. My guess is you're going to have to drive without those goggles or those glasses because it's too dangerous just fogging up. And there will be accidents, definitely. John Bloxham in the house. We are independent contractors. Why would they provide us with masks? Because we're actually not independent contractors under the law. John Bloxham, that's why. All these companies have to supply. They want you to go out there to the front lines. They said they would take care of you. What about Uber Eats? Same story. AP asked, what about Uber Eats? Same story. You go out to Uber Eats, you walk into a restaurant, the restaurant manager, the restaurant staff have the ability to issue a complaint. He or she is not wearing a mask. Vice versa. You walk into a restaurant, you can blacklist that restaurant and say the people were not wearing the mask. I'm not going in there to collect the food. So thumbs up, everyone. We have 72 people in the house. We have 20 likes. That means I got to either work for my likes or people have forgotten to hit the like, one of the two. Eluta says, FUK Uber. Sean Anand says, yep, you can't see with mask. And yes, all are employees. Scott Tucker Uber said they sent me a mask. I never got one. Yeah, they said they sent everyone a mask, but who's got their mask? Nobody. Very, very, very few people have reported to me or emailed me and said, hey, I may have 20 texts and emails combined out of the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers that said, hey, you know what? I got my PPE or I got limited PPE. The bottom line is they have not followed up on that promise and they have not delivered. The Gigs Lifestyle says, I got declined for EIDL. Ouch, I'm sorry to hear that. Sean, I'm with you. I'm not fighting you, buddy. I just want you to be safe. That's all. And you, at the end of the day, Sean decides what Sean wants to do. I don't decide for anyone. I can give you my opinion on how I would handle it. I could give you the feedback in these articles, how Uber and Lyft will handle it, right? Bottom line is, you don't comply, you get a complaint, few complaints, deactivation. So I'm here to try and save you the deactivation. I'm also telling you, I don't think it's a safe thing personally to get out there and to get into that new type of environment. Abdul Basha, I appreciate. Yes, we can. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody get their stimulus? Did everybody get their stimulus? I got a check the other day. So rather late than never, right? Uber and Lyft are updating their driver and passenger requirements as state and local governments begin to ease stay-at-home orders. Some people here want to comply, some don't. Some say, hell no, I'm not going to wear a mask. Some say, yep, absolutely, I'll wear a mask. Leonardo Lugoki says, yes, $2,400. Congratulations. Very, very happy for you. Iluta as well. Thank you. Very happy for you. Las Vegas Uber driver says, no stimulus money for me yet. Did you all file your 18 and 2019 taxes? Right. That's pretty much a requirement. So make sure that those are filed. Roger Fidel says, I need a new car with 2 climate control for front and back. Any recommendations? I've got that in the Escalade, but I don't think the Escalade would be the best recommendation I could give to you. A lot of the BMWs, a lot of the Mercedes have it. Is there anything economical out there? What category do you want to drive in? Do you want to drive an Uber X? But yes, it's nice if the people in the back are lit. And by the way, I still have one petition. They usually have, I think, about $300 rideshare petitions. You can check them out on rideshare petitions. I have one. If you want to pick it up in Long Beach, $100. It's brand new. Comprises 3 elements: the centerpiece, the divider, which you can adjust, and the wings. And then you could put a little bit of plastic, and then everybody is blocked out. So if they want to sneeze, they sneeze against a screen. If they want to cough, they cough against a screen, right? So if you are going out there, if you are risking it, I would definitely make sure you have some sort of divider. We had someone earlier that said, hey, I've been doing trips and I completely put the plastic in. Plastic is maybe another way you can go, right? But that ventilation, if you're putting the plastic in, I think ventilation for them, ventilation for you is essential, right? You'll always have oxygen that somehow passes through all these little things that you're trying to tape up or close up, right? But you do want them to have independent control over the ventilation. If they want it warmer, if they want it cooler in the back, that's great. Mark Fowdy says, there is no way in hell I would drive for Uber and Lyft. We are in the middle of a pandemic. I got a business and family to run. I don't plan on leaving either of them through an early death. Amen. I'm with you on that. I'm not leaving my family because of an early death. And I do regard myself as someone that works out, keeps the immune system up. But apparently this pandemic beast, this COVID-19, works in mysterious ways. So, kids have gotten it. There was a 105-year-old that survived the COVID the other day. 105-year-old must have had a great immune system. Leonardo Lagocki says, I live in Arizona. Summer days are 110. I'm leaving the windows up. That good point there, right? So you're dealing with these super high temperatures. Uber and Lyft tell the driver, hey, your window's got to be down. But if you're in Phoenix or Scottsdale, Arizona, and you have your windows down, I mean, you're driving through a hairdryer. It's so hot, right? But who knows? The rider might file a report. Hey, the guy kept the windows up. They were supposed to be down, right? So yeah, all kinds of problems are coming. Can you imagine in those super hot areas like Vegas and Arizona, where you're supposed to have your windows down? Let's say you put them down because you're following the law. The rider says, hell no, don't put the windows down, you idiot. And whatever, gives you a 1 star. It was like, I was driving in a hot car because the windows were down. I want them up. I want the air conditioning up, right? So it's going to be a lot of chaos coming. Nifty 50 says you can make more money now than working. There is no incentives to do so. Plus, you're safer at home. I'll stay at home, my friends. I'll do YouTube videos for you. I'll harass Uber and Lyft all day long. I'll push for change. I think that's my job. And every now and again, if the price is right, the other day I drove down to Orange County and back, $500 I charged, made a quick $500, right? I'm picking up people from Burbank Airport in a few days, charging them $200. Hey, it's a short trip. It's going to be about 40 minutes for me. But if they don't want to pay it, it's okay. They can walk. They can take a taxi. Tony Slaughter says rides won't be safe with windows down. Again, and I don't know whether it's safe or not safe. I mean, what evidence do we have? If you have your windows up or your windows down, what is safer, right? Maybe with the windows down, there's more circulation. Maybe it spreads more. I have no idea. I just think many experts that claim to be experts are also making up a lot of shit. That's just my opinion. The rideshare giants are requiring all parties to wear masks, these things, while noting that accountability among both drivers and riders will decide whether the rules are followed, right? Whether the rules are followed. These are the rules that they are putting down. The question is, will riders and drivers follow the rules? Roger Fadel says, N95 mask, good for a few hours only. Show me the link. Show me the evidence on that. But it certainly sounds interesting. I'd like to see that. Leonard Ligocki says, I drive for Lyft and Uber. I'm going to use the lesser of the two, Lyft, as a test platform. I'm not going to enforce the rules and see what happens, but will follow the rules. I like your attitude. I like your approach. Rick Nelson in the house has got my stimulus through SS on May the 1st. Yeah, baby. Happy for you, Rick. Awesome, awesome, awesome. My buddy Rick. Fantastic guy. Amazing, amazing, amazing guy. Glad for you. Online technical assistant. I've read that AC can also spread the virus as it pertained to restaurants. Yeah, you're probably right on that as well. Right. Thanks for the information. I really appreciate you sharing that. Tony Slaughter says, I think I'll go to Van Nuys. To Van Nuys Airport or what? To which one? Tony Slaughter says, got my SBA loan grant. Cool. How much did they assign? How much did they assign, Tony? How much did the SBA assign you? A lot of people got $1,000 from the SBA. Some people got more. Tony says 1K. Cool. Iluta says, I'm not going to drive with my window down. That means I'm done with Uber. That's it. Very, very simple formula. I'm done. Dave Chin is in the house. How are you? Good to see you. Alex T. Interesting new listener here. How do you set up rides for $400? With your private TCP license, you can go to www.businessrocket.com and see what it takes. Takes about anywhere, depending from state to state, anywhere from $600 to $1,200, anywhere from 1 to 3 months. You got to have your commercial license. You got to get your car weighed. You got to make the change at the DMV from regular insurance to commercial. You got to go out and source a commercial insurance. Once you have all the paperwork, you can now start taking private drivers. You are then, at that moment, mark my words, a true independent contractor that sets his rate. I set my own rates. Alex Critics, what's up, profs? Happy Sunday to everyone. Happy Sunday to you, Alex, and to your family. I hope you're all safe. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're taking great care of yourselves, everyone. It's Moose says, I have been putting N95 masks in the dryer after use. I figure extreme heat kills the virus. Probably right? Keep it clean, kill the germs. And Mark Fowdy says, source a bigger car, bigger SUV. Private rides, bigger SUV. The more people you can fit in. I remember one night I drove the wives of several NBA players. I think there were 5 wives. And I think there were 2 kids. I had 7 people on board. All, not to mention names, but they all had been drinking a little bit. I drove them from the Forum back to their respective houses. They all lived pretty much in the same area. Dropped this lady off, this lady off, this lady off, this lady off, and the kids, and got paid individually through Venmo. A crap load of money. I think that night, I honestly want to say, just from the Forum back, dropping off all the parties, about $1,200 with tips, right? Had a little bit to drink. The one pays you through Venmo, the other pays you through Venmo, the one pays you cash plus a tip. Hey, here's my contribution, and I'm dropping them off one by one by one. But I'm honest when I say, they said, has the trip already been paid? I said, well, everybody is making their part payments. I'm always honest with my passengers, right? Or what did so-and-so pay you? I'll say so-and-so paid me 100. So-and-so paid me 50, right? So they ask me, I tell them. And sometimes you get lucky, one of my funnest days was with Dwayne Wade and his family. He booked me for about 8-9 hours. We went to birthday party, we went to the jump house, went to a trampoline place, all over with his kids. And then I dropped his kids off. I dropped his other little one off with his ex-wife in Playa del Rey. And then I took him and his security guards to a private meeting in Beverly Hills at the Peninsula. And $1,500, $1,500. and then another $500 tip on top, made almost $2,000 for the day, right? And I had fun. He paid for my meals, he paid for my lunch, he paid for my dinner. Had a great time with him, got to know him. I took videos of him and his kids. I said, hey, his little one was dancing in the back, 2 years old. I said, Dwayne, you gotta capture this on video. He says, you're right. Can you film it for me? And I said, absolutely. So he's singing and dancing with his little one, and I'm filming, and I'm there. So there you go. You've got it captured forever, my friend. And there's those little special moments, and how you treat these people, they will treat you in return. Right at the end of the day, I built up such a rapport and such a friendship with the individual. I said, my kids are massive, massive fans. Is there a possibility they could just say hi to you on WhatsApp? He said, absolutely. So I called my kids on WhatsApp on my phone, and I said, I have a surprise. I have a very special person in the car with me who's a great dad. Here he is. And I hand the phone, right, to Dwayne Wade, who's then talking with my kids. My kids were blown away. Could not believe that he spent several minutes just talking to them. Hey, how are you guys? How are you doing basketball? How long have you been doing the basketball? And I drove the guy several times ever since. Why? Because I made sure his baby seat was tightly secured. When I had him as a client, picked up him and his little baby kid, 2 years old, and his other children. I had other little things to keep the little one busy. I filmed them. I let them play the music that they wanted. So we made it like as special as possible. Dwayne all day over MJ. Michael says, Joe, Mark Fowdy, have baby seats. Yeah, oh, have your own baby seat. Well, you have a client and they have a little kid. Have that baby seat ready. Oh, I see Payment Ali in the house. Rideshare companies actually have authority to direct drivers' behavior under civil law, because you can be sued for non-compliance and your remedy will be money. Cool. Online technical assistance says, Scott Tucker went to the IRS site and read through all of that, and it shows if I were to do that, it could delay it. I will go back and reread it again. Not thrilled about giving IRS my bank info. Well, if they don't have your bank info, they have your address and they'll send you a check. If they have your bank info, they can deposit it. People that had given the bank info, the correct bank info to the IRS were paid a long time ago. People that submitted, a lot of people reported submitting their taxes through TurboTax or through H&R Block. They didn't get their stimulus checks because they didn't update the banking information with the IRS. And so people had to wait for the stimulus checks. Uber announced its changes this week. The company says they will go into effect on Monday, May the 18th, and last through the end of June. Before a driver or Uber Eats delivery driver can begin their shift, they are asked to confirm via a checklist in the app that they are wearing a mask or a face covering. So tomorrow, let's go over those checklists. Anybody it can send me screenshots. Any evidence of these changes, we'll immediately make a video. We'll talk about it. Tony Slaughter says, can you tell me about the compliance thing? Which compliance are we talking about? Compliance with a mask, or what type of other compliance? Drivers will also be asked to take a selfie so the company can verify they are covering their face. Selfie. Okay, good. You're good to go. Those who aren't will not be able to go online. We've designed this feature to adapt to changing public health guidance and regulations as the pandemic evolves, Uber said in an issued statement. The truth is, we've designed this feature to get you back on the road because we need money. If they're honest, that should be the line. But they've said we've designed this feature to adapt to changing public health guidance. You're not 6 feet apart, so you're not following public health guidance, Dara, right? You are designing this feature because you urgently need money. There's no social distancing going on in your car. You're all within 2 to 3 feet reach, right? So you breaking every one of those rules anyway. Kenneth Holichek says 3 weeks to PUA. They said they would give an answer on the 10th, 17 days later, 7 days late. What about Nevada? Has Nevada received their monies? Hi, Ali, are we going to get paid more? You would think should be receiving more. You would think you'd be getting hazard pay if these new rules come out tomorrow. But my guess is no. My guess is that Uber really, really needs to keep the margin. They are bleeding. They are hurting, right? So there's no way you're going to get incentivized even more as an essential worker. Nevada has PUA. Good. Tony Slaughter says, I can't wait till we topple these companies and get what's ours. And I'll help you with that. Riders can no longer sit in the front seat and must have windows open for ventilation. Okay, well, you're not in the front seat, you're in the back, and it's 110 degrees out there in Vegas or Arizona, and you're like, screw this, I'm a passenger, I'm not putting my windows up. I mean, so does the fight break out there? Driver says, hey, windows got to be down. Rider says, are you crazy? It's 110 outside. These are the types of scenarios that will play out in practice. I just don't hope they escalate. I don't hope they lead to fights, stabbings, shootings, just because over a battle about the window. My friends, if you do see yourself getting into a battle over a window, because you say the window's got to be down according to the laws Uber and Lyft are imposing, the rider says, screw this, it's 110 outside. It's not worth the battle. Grin and bear it, right? Get through it. You can always write the report afterwards. The rider did not keep the windows down, blah, 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 1-star rating. Don't get matched with that idiot again, right? But here's the bottom line. It is not worth escalating a fight. Hey, screw you. Windows got to be up. No, screw you. Battle breaks out, gunshot, game over. Not worth it. It's not worth it. So practice your wording. Use all your verbal judo tomorrow onwards. You're going to be tried, my friends. You are going to be tried. You're going to be put in situations where you will be tried because it's hot outside. It's 108. It's 110. This person thinks this way. This person, you will be tried. You will be tested, my friends. Mask on, mask off. You will be tested. Mark my words. Do not escalate the wording. Do not get into a fight. Remove yourself from the situation. End the trip if need be. You can always write up the trip, write up the report. Rider refused to comply with the new laws. Do not get into a pissing match, fighting match, battle match that ends up with a knifing or with a gunshot. Not worth it. Payman Ali says, Tony, U.S. Constitution doesn't apply. U.S. Constitution is the highest law of the land. All authority derived from it, including state and federal law, are extensions of it. Matthew Parker says, lock the windows. Mark my words, we are going to be tested tomorrow. You guys are going to be reporting crazy stuff to me. I'm going to be talking about crazy stuff. We're going to be, mark my words, within a week or two. Here's my prediction. Within 2 weeks, we're going to be hearing the first crazy stories in the media about these new mask laws. Mark my words. Within 14 days, we have a few crazy stories in the media about these new mask laws. This happened, this happened. In practice, ladies and gentlemen, things work out differently. Payman Ali says, but Uber's authority is based on laws of SEA. Payman Ali, you sound like a lawyer. I need to hire you. Uber said the onus is on both drivers and passengers to enforce the rules. You will be checking them. They will be checking you. You will be checking the restaurant will be checking you. The company encouraged drivers to cancel trips without any penalty if a rider refuses to wear a mask. Okay, let's stop there. The company encouraged drivers to cancel trips without any penalty if a rider refuses to wear a mask. Okay, so you don't get a penalty, but do you get paid? You just drove 15, 20 minutes, and now some asshole won't comply. right? You cancel. What's up with that time? Are you going to get reimbursed for that because that rider or that passenger or one of those riders and passengers wasn't willing to play ball with a mask? Are you going to get compensated for all that time and for all that gas? I don't know. Uber's two-way feedback system has long helped ensure both riders and drivers uphold certain standards by requiring feedback on issues like vehicle quality, navigation, and speeding, the company said. Drivers and riders who repeatedly violate mask policies risk losing access to Uber. Let me read that again. This is Uber. Drivers and riders who repeatedly violate mask policies risk losing access to Uber. That means deactivation. Deactivation is another word for that. The announcement comes after Lyft announced a series of upcoming safety-related changes last week. Lyft also says there will be a verification process to make sure both riders and drivers are wearing masks. The company also says it will distribute masks. Listen to this. This is the funny thing. The company also says it will distribute masks and cleaning supplies to its drivers. Wop, 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 wop. For 90 days. The company said they will distribute masks and cleaning supplies to its drivers. Same soundbite over and over again. Promise, promise, promise. Non-delivery, 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 non-delivery. Right? Just to make the public think, oh, yeah, don't worry. Uber and Lyft are supplying their drivers with PPE. No, they're not. It's up to you. Survival of the fittest, my friends. You got to go out there and find it. Yeah, right, Uber. Exactly, Scott. Yeah, right, Uber. You definitely. Kenneth Holacek says, unemployment says we are an employee, not an independent contractor. Unemployment believes we are misclassified. I'm getting a lawyer, 7 weeks, no pay. Correct. And you have a legitimate case based on misclassification. A lot of people are filing for misclassification. Ron Jamin says, required for eats? If so, to what extent? Same thing. You wear your mask entering the restaurant. You wear your mask leaving the restaurant. What you do thereafter is your business, right? When you have the food in your car. But the restaurant owner and the staff will judge you whether you walk in with or without. They have also been instructed by Uber and Lyft. Make sure you see if our drivers are wearing the mask and report accordingly. And they have also given that same power to the Uber Eats delivery. When the people are serving you the food, please report and make sure they are wearing a mask, because Uber doesn't want you to face a situation where you get infected because the restaurant manager or the till person wasn't wearing a thing, and then you run off to Uber and sue them. So they're trying to indemnify themselves and get out of every possible legal scenario, where they can wash their hands and say, nope, we're not liable for that. Nope, we're not liable for that. Why? Because they already have so many negligence suits coming their way. You too, Ron Jamin. You stay healthy, you and your family. God bless you. Hope you stay protected. Hopefully, we all get through this, right? I want to see everyone in this room in 2021, and we look back and we say, geez, those are the craziest months of our life. Matthew Parker says there must still be enough drivers willing to drive and earn the minimum fare despite the risk and lack of high quality rides. That being the case, why would they offer hazard pay? Correct. I mean, I think you would be smart if you offered hazard pay. You'd have a massive, massive media advantage, massive marketing advantage. You score a lot of brownie points amongst drivers, but they're not going to pay. They're skimming everywhere. They're overcharging the restaurants. They're taking from you. They need to survive and get through this. This is not the time of handouts during the pandemic. So if anything, they will take away more than ever. And there will be drivers who will say, hey, I didn't get my PUA. didn't get my stimulus check, I didn't report my taxes, I need to drive, I am desperate, right? And they will go out there. So you're correct, there will be drivers out there willing to subject themselves to these conditions. Absolutely correct statement. Kenneth Holacek says, driver can quit now and make more on PUA than getting infected driving. Correct. Or at least maybe make 80 to 90% of what you were making before. Mohammed Khalil says, Rick Nelson, I picked up PPE at Bell Tire in Michigan about a month ago. Good. I had ordered my stuff right in the beginning, I think January or February. My friend in Europe said, it's coming your way, be prepared. So I put all the orders in. I have boxes and boxes of gloves, boxes of masks, everything that I really need. OG1 Kenobi, I'm ready, let's go. All right, put your mask on and off you go tomorrow morning. Dave Chin, Torsten, do you think seasonal changes affect the impact of the virus? Well, what I've been told is that heat, the virus doesn't like heat. It has a very thin, fatty layer, and that dissolves through heat or hot liquids. So I would just hope the hotter it is, probably the better, right? I think that hot weather would be great, but I haven't really seen any scientific proof. So, but I like hot weather anyway. I'll take hot weather over cold weather. I'll take hot weather over snow all day long. Mike Smith says, Mark Fowdy, desperate drivers on 99% of their business plan. It's the only reason they have any active drivers at all. If I read that statement that you made, Mike Smith, you're basically saying that 99% of the drivers are desperate. Am I hearing you correctly? Whatever you do, don't drink Lysol, okay? Then it says business is booming in Tucson, Arizona. Oh, cool. Ron Jannon says, I subscribed the other day based on your video about the Grubhub acquisition Uber's trying to attain. And that Grubhub acquisition and Uber trying to take Lime, I mean, a lot of people say these are predatory actions taken in the time of pandemic. So he's making his moves on companies that are hurting. This is just who Dara Khosrowshahi is, right? He's Travis Kalanick 2.0, right? So he's trying to feed off the weak now, take the weak while they are hurting, right? But Grubhub isn't really hurting. The only problem that Uber is going to have in trying to acquire Grubhub is that they may be perceived as a monopoly then, right? Because if Uber Eats takes Grubhub, they have 48 to 56% of the market. So it's what Dara Khosrowshahi learned, is that you buy the weaker companies and you consolidate your power. So he's trying to take companies right now in these times and consolidate more power. Yeah, they could be. I mean, they call it like predatory. It is definitely more like a hostile takeover. He's definitely taking advantage of this pandemic, right? And when I always laugh at Dara Khosrowshahi when he says, I inherited this mess from Travis Kalanick and I'm busy fixing it. No, you're not. You're Travis Kalanick 2.0, my friend. You're the same breed, if not worse. Tony Slaughter Dara is indeed a true shyster. Big time. I did make a video this morning in the Rideshare Professor channel. And this where they were talking about how Dara Khosrowshahi is Travis Kalanick 2.0. It's quite interesting. Go and watch it. Rideshare. If you have not subscribed to this, I need subscribers there at the Rideshare Driving School. Ron Jamison, since stay-at-home order, all the restaurants by me that didn't offer delivery started to right away. That's one benefit. Yeah. So a lot of those people were never even geared up for takeaways or deliveries, right? So they literally had to change and adopt a whole new model in order to survive. If you were not willing to do takeouts or deliveries, you were done. You were dead. Your business was over. So at least a lot of restaurants were forced to make the changes, and those changes, even after the pandemic, will benefit them greatly. Probably had to build a website quickly, probably had to do some advertising in the areas and say, hey, we do have takeout. You can call in, or we'll do curbside delivery. You can pull up and we will put the car in your back seat, right? So there's a lot of adaptation going on. Dennis Torres says, I feel so bad for Uber and Lyft drivers. I'm a little worried about tomorrow, how this plays out. I'm on 57 minutes. I'm going to go up to 60 minutes. And then I have a couple of other things to do. Got to go out. I'm going to go for a run or a nice long walk by the beach. Want to get outdoors a little bit. Feel really cooped up in the house. Need to get out, get some sunshine, some vitamin D3. Please, everyone, thumbs up. We're on 37. Pump it up to 40 if you can. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Hit the like button. Smash the like button if you can. Lorenzo Davis, we must crack the whip. Drivers must enforce these rules to these entitled riders. Yeah, you have to. You have to enforce those rules. Otherwise, you don't take the trip or you file the online complaint against them. We're on 39. We can pump it up to 40. I'd be super happy. Literally have about another 2 minutes to go. Want to make, there we are. Appreciate it. Somebody just came through with like number 40. Thank you. Stay safe, everyone. I'm going to wind it down here in the last 2 minutes. Anybody have some final famous words? Again, I wish you all the very best for tomorrow. Rideshare Geek in the house. Brian, how are you? Says, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you and your family. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you're doing well. Scott Tucker, everyone that is driving, see what you are owed by Uber and Lyft going to Potter Handy. Exactly. Let's just see what you are owed. Do the damages calculator. Just out of interest. You're not signing anything. Just go there and do the damage calculator and see how much money you're actually owed. Marco Lugo is in the house. Marco Lugo is coming in as I'm leaving. Las Vegas Uber driver says, yeah, I think I need to get an exercise bike. I've gained like 12 pounds since not driving. That's it. Keep yourself fit. Keep that cardio going. It's easy to sit at home, eat. Sherelle's in the house. Thank you for coming in. Eddie Leal's in the house. Thank you, everyone. Please be safe. We're coming up 50 seconds to go. Rideshare Geek says it won't be easy for Uber and Lyft to get drivers back on the road now that we're collecting PUA. Exactly. Many people have the same attitude. You know what? I'm getting PUA. Why should I go out there? Why should I run miles on my car? Why should I destroy my transmission? Why should I work if I'm getting 80% of the money anyway, right? So rather stay safe, work on other things, right? versus grinding miles on your car. It's going to cost you a fortune. So many people are collecting the PUA and do have the same attitude. Why work if I can collect? Lorenzo Davis says, I shot the sheriff, but I saved the deputy. Bob Marley. I shot the sheriff. Eddie Leal says, stay frosty out there. Definitely ain't frosty in California. It's like high 80s. Super hot. But thank you. Stay frosty. Stay frosty. Tony Slaughter, as long as the passengers have cash, Uber won't boot them. Nope. They will not get the boot. Thank you, guys. I wish you a super happy Sunday. I will see you back tomorrow for Our House Mondays. And what are we going to talk about? Our House Mondays. I'm going to try and probably make it in the later afternoon because I want to hear the stories. I want to hear the stories about, I want to see the screenshots. Send me the screenshots. Or even if you don't drive, send me the screenshot. Show me what it looks like on your phone. And then we can discuss that on Monday in Our House Mondays. I'm sure we're going to hear some stories, some feedback from drivers. Hey, I went out there. I did 10 trips today. 3 of the trips, the passengers refused to wear the mask, or I refused to wear the mask. Bring me every story you have tomorrow, every possible scenario. Payman Ali, Vegas, stay safe and healthy, my brother. To you and your family. AMC creators. Brian Rideshare Geek, Nifty 50, Tony, Tommy, Abstract Echo, Jimmy, Lorenzo, Sherelle, and everyone that I haven't named. Have a fantastic Sunday. Stay safe. We're on 47. If you can squeeze another like in there, fantastic. But I'm on my way out right now. And I thought it was productive and healthy. We had a really good conversation. Thank you for sharing. Do stay safe and see you on Monday. God bless everyone. Thank you, everyone.